There was a time when I would watch Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter and think I'd love to have Gandalf's staff or Harry Potter's wand. That would be so cool. Then I watched Bright and I realized before I pick up a wand, I think I need some sort of magical blood test to make sure I'm a Bright and the wand isn't going to blow me up. Welcome to Durbania, I'm Durbin, and this is my spoiler-free review for Bright, the Netflix original movie with Will Smith. You know, when I watched the trailers for this movie, I thought it looked good and I thought it looked fun. It didn't set any great, big, huge, epic expectations for me. I wasn't watching this thinking, oh, I bet this is going to be on the level of the first Men in Black movie and things like that. Like, when I watched the trailer, those were not the thoughts that came to my mind. But what came to my mind was, that's a neat concept. I'd watch that. That looks fun. So when I watched it, I got exactly what I expected. It was fun. I say it like this because I look at Rotten Tomatoes, lots of bad stuff going on from the critics, low score. It's like, well, my question is, what were they expecting? It was a made-for-TV Netflix original movie. Interesting concept. The trailers weren't even mind-blowing. What were you expecting? Serious. So if you go into this with the right expectations, I think you'd really enjoy it. Now, that said, let me say this. You might look at this and be like, well, Will Smith, elves, orcs, fairies, all the fantasy elements. Hey, maybe my 6-year-old could sit here and watch this with me. It's rated TV MA for a very, very good reason. Just throwing that out there. That said, diving into some of the positives of this movie, like I said, when I watched the trailer, I thought that concept was neat. And I thought it was neat the way they did the concept in this movie. I mean, I always kind of wondered, and this is just me personally and my little nerd mind, what if we just followed Middle Earth till like modern day, you know, where they have cars, cities, TV, skyscrapers, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you know, all the annoying stuff that we have now. So what if we just followed Middle Earth to that point, and now you live in a world and a universe where this weird magical history is just that. It's not fantasy, it's their history. What on earth would that world look like? And so I liked that concept with Bright, and so I thought that was kind of fun that they took this movie, they set it in like our real modern day, but here in our real modern day, there's orcs, there's elves, there's annoying fairies. So like, you know, things like that. I thought that was really interesting. And the other thing that was kind of fun is, so when you read all those fantasy novels and things like that, who are the orcs? They're the bad guys. They're in the service of whatever Dark Lord happens to be there. They're orcs. They're ugly. You read Middle Earth. They're elves that were twisted by dark magic and twisted by Sauron, and now they're these ugly things. And so it's like, oh, wow. So orcs are bad, and there's always that tension between elves and orcs. And so now we take that, we throw it in modern day. And of course, here in modern day, that tension is about a billion times worse. I mean, come on, we live in a day and age where you go to the comment section on a YouTube video and you could really see the bitterness that just exists in our culture and overflows in the oddest ways. And so now take these fantasy creatures where in all these fantasy novels there's always tension between them and throw them in our world where that bitterness is still existing and still strong. And so watching how that all gets dealt with. So what this movie does is it sucks you in real quick with Will Smith's character Ward and his partner Jacoby, who is an orc. And he's like the first orc to be a cop. So all the other orcs hate him because he's a cop. You know, elves hate him because he's an orc. Humans hate him because he's an orc. Everybody hates this guy. And what they did is they did a really good job winning you over to Jacoby's side right in the beginning, so you cared. They did a really good job winning you over to Ward's side. And Ward is like this bitter guy up front and all that stuff. Like, he's just been through some really hard times, and you could just sense that. But, you know, it's Will Smith, so he brings that Will Smith charisma to it. So automatically you're like, yeah, I know, he's a little bitter and he's rough around the edges, but, you know, you like him. And so, like, they did a good job bringing you into their story, and they just drop you right in the middle of their partnership. It's not like, you know, oh, they just get assigned partners at the beginning of this movie and they have to learn to work together. We've seen that a lot. This was just kind of cool that this was the middle of their partnership. We are dropped right in it, and so it did a good job picking up the pieces for us, getting us up to speed with what's been going on without it being like too much or overbearing, so our, you know, sensory overload, like, oh my gosh, 3 montages just to get to this. Did not happen in that. So I thought that was all really cool. So they did a good job with the characters. They did a good job, I think, bringing you into it. And so it was fun. It was just fun for me to see them play with these fantasy characters in modern day. It's fun when here you are just doing an establishing shot of the LA skyline at night and you see the silhouette of a dragon flying over the city. I want to see a dragon! If I was to tackle some of the negatives of this movie, definitely it's predictable. It's very predictable, but I didn't expect anything different. So, because I didn't expect anything different, I really wasn't hurt by the fact that I was able to predict what was coming down the line. I still enjoyed it, and I had a good time with the ride. Another negative, I definitely would have said, if this was on the big screen, it's not worth the ticket. I would have said that. I would have said it's not worth the extra money to go buy the ticket. But that's not the situation we're in. This is a Netflix original movie. It is straight to Netflix. If you already have a Netflix subscription, it costs you nothing extra just to hit play on the movie. So, in that spirit, like knowing what this movie is and knowing what it was made for, I thought it was fun. So there it is. I'm going to give this movie a B-. I did borderline a C+ with it because, I don't know, again, not the best movie. I wouldn't look at this and rant, this is Will Smith's best ever. No, I wouldn't say that. But I would say it is fun. Like, if you're bored and there's nothing on the big screen and you're looking for something different to watch, check out Bright. It's a fun concept. They did some fun things with the concept, so that's where I'm at with it. I enjoyed it, so there you have it. Did you enjoy it? Let me know in the comments, and while you're there, hit the subscribe button to become a Durbania. Next to the subscribe button is that bell. Click it so you're notified the moment I drop new videos like other movie reviews or trailer reactions or ranking videos, theological analyses. So hit that bell so you're notified when any and all that drops. Check out my other videos here on this channel. I'm Durbin. Thanks for checking out Durbania.